Hello students, I am Sanjana Kavatagi, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, AITM, Belgavi. Let us continue with the video lectures on storage area networks. In this video, let us continue the local replication chapter. In this, we have studied already the host-based local replication. Now I'll be explaining about storage array-based local replication. So in storage array based local replication, the array operating environment performs the local replication process. So the host resources like CPU and memory are not used in the replication process. Consequently, the host is not burdened by the replication operations. The replica can be accessed by an alternative host for other business operations. So in this replication, the required number of replica devices should be selected on the same array, and then the data should be replicated between the source replica pairs. In the figure you can see it shows a storage array based local replication where the source and target are in the same array and are accessed by different hosts. You can see in the figure we have production host and then business continuity host. Okay, that is nothing but a backup or replica copy where you're going to store. And then we have here the source and the replica, both are in the same storage array. So the read or write operation can happen between production host and source, and the same read write operation can happen between the replica and the BC host. Okay, so source and target are in the same array and these are accessed by different host, because source is accessed by production host, replica is accessed by BC host. So the storage array based local replication is commonly implemented in three ways. First one is full volume mirroring, and then we have pointer based full volume replication, and then we have pointer based virtual replication. So replica devices are also referred to as the target devices, which are accessible by other hosts. First we shall study full volume mirroring. So in full volume mirroring, the target is attached to the source and established as a mirror of the source as shown in the figure A. The data on the source is copied to the target. In the figure A, you can see that it is a full volume mirroring with the source attached to replica. So in this, the data on the source is copied to the target. New updates to the source are also updated in the target. So after all the data is copied to both the source and the target, they contain identical data, then the target can be considered as a mirror of the source. So as and when there is a data in the source, it is copied to the target. Okay, and then if there is any update in the source, that is also done on the target. So after all the data that is copied to both the source and the target, it has the same data, then we can call it as a mirror of the source. You can see in the figure, read write operation can happen between production host and source, and then this data will be copied to the replica, but this replica is not accessible by the BC host. Okay, so that is one change you should remember. While the target is attached to the source, it remains unavailable to any other host. So however, the production host continues to access the source. When the target is attached to the source, it will be unavailable to other hosts to be accessed, but still the production host will continue to access the source. So after the synchronization is complete, the target can be detached from the source and it can be made available for other business operations. The figure B shows a full volume mirroring when the target is detached from the source. So both the source and the target can be accessed for read and write operations by the production and business continuity host respectively. This is about full volume mirroring. Next we have is the pointer based full volume replication. So another method of array based local replication is pointer based full volume replication. Similar to full volume mirroring, this technology can provide full copies of the source data on the targets. Unlike full volume mirroring, the target is immediately accessible by the BC host after the replication session is activated. So therefore, data synchronization and detachment of the target is not required to access it. Hence, the time of replication session activation defines the PIT copy of the source. Okay, so pointer based full volume replication can be activated in either copy on first access, that is COFA mode, or full copy mode. In either of the cases, at the time of activation, a production bitmap is created for all the data on the source devices. So the production bitmap keeps track of the changes at the source device. The pointers on the target are initialized to map the corresponding data blocks on the data source. So then the data is then copied from the source to the target based on the mode of activation. So in case of COFA, after the replication session is initiated, the data is copied from the source to the target when the following conditions occur. First one is first condition is a write IO is issued to a specific address of the source for the first time. Second one is a read or write IO is issued to a specific address on the target for the first time. In the first case, it is only a write IO. In the second one, it is both read and write, read or write. In case of first, it was specific address on the source for the first time. In the second one, it is specific address on the target for the first time. So when a write is issued to the source for the first time after replication session activation, the original data at the address is copied to the target. After this operation, the new data is updated on the source. This ensures that the original data at the point in time of activation is preserved on the target. You can see in the figure 11.9. Okay, it is nothing but a copy on first access, that is COFA, write to the source. In the first step, what happens? The production host writes new data to the source. Okay, production host will be writing the data to the host. These horizontal three lines will indicate the new data, and vertical lines that are there on source and replica, that will indicate the original data. Okay, so in the first step, the production host writes new data to the source. In the second step, original data is copied from the source to the replica. In case of third step, new data is then updated to the source. Okay, so this is how it carries out. So when a read is issued to the target for the first time after application session activation, the original data is copied from the source to the target and is made available to the PC host. You can see the next figure now. Okay, in this case, what happens? In the first step, a read request from the BC host to the replica will be generated. Okay, read request from BC host to replica will be generated. Next, in the second step, the original data is copied from the source to the replica. Okay, the original data, production host data, will be copied from source to replica. And then in the third step, the data is provided to the BC host. So here we have made use of only horizontal lines that indicates the requested data. So in the third step, what will happen? The data will be provided to the BC host. Next, when a write is issued to the target for the first time after the replication session activation, the original data is copied from the source to the target. So after this, the new data is updated on the target. Let us see the first step. In this, again, the horizontal line indicates the new data, and the vertical lines that are shown within the source and the replica will indicate the original data. So in the first step, the BC host writes the new data to the replica. BC host will be writing any new data to the replica. Next, in the second step, the original data is copied from the source to the replica. So original data, whatever was there, that will be copied from source to replica, or the target, you can say. Next, in the third step, what happens? The new data is updated on the replica. Okay, so it is not going to be communicated to the source, it is going to be just updated on the replica. Okay, so in all of these cases, the protection bit for the data block on the source is reset to indicate that the original data has been copied over to the target. The pointer to the source data can now be discarded. So the subsequent writes to the same data block on the source and reads or writes to the same data blocks on the target do not trigger a copy operation. Therefore, this method is termed as copy on first access. So in case if the replication session is terminated, then the target device has only the data that was accessed until the termination, not the entire contents of the source uh, at the point in time copy of the data. So in this case, the data on the target cannot be used for restored because it is not a full replica of the source. So in a full copy mode, all the data from the source is copied to the target in the background. So data is copied regardless of access. So if access to a book that has not yet been copied to the target is required, this book is preferentially copied to the target. So in case of a complete cycle of the full copy mode, all the data from the source is copied to the target. If the replication session is terminated now, then the target will contain all the original data from the source at the point in time of activation. So this is about pointer based and full volume replication. Next we have pointer based virtual replication. So in a pointer based virtual replication, at the time of the replication session activation, the target contains pointers to the location of the data on the source. The target do not contain any do not contain data at any time. Therefore, the target is known as the virtual replica. Okay, so let us move to the diagram. It is also same like physical copy on first access only, but the data will be virtual here. So in the first step, you can see the production host writes new data to the source for the first time after the session activates. The production host will be writing data. Same horizontal line will indicate new data, vertical lines will indicate original data, and these diagonal lines will indicate pointers. Okay, so the production host will be writing new data to the source for the first time once the session started or activated. In the step 2, the original data from the source is copied to save the location and the associated pointer that is now pointing to the save location. So you can see the data from the source is copied to the location, saved location, and then associated pointer is pointing, that is the new pointing device to the save location. Okay, so next we have at the step 3, new data is updated on the source. Okay, so once that copying is completed, any new data will that is generated, that will be updated on the source. So this is about pointer based virtual replication, write to the source. Next we shall also see the write to target. Okay, next figure. So in this the step 1 will be the BC host writes new data to the target, that is the replica. And then in the step 2 there are 3 things that are happening. First one is the original data from the source is copied to the save location. Okay, so that is first point, that is 2a. Next we have another copy of this data is made in the save location. So one more copy of that same data will be made in the save location. Next, third one, the first copy of the original data is then updated with the new data in the save location. So the first copy of that original data will be again updated with the new data in the save location. Okay, so this is about pointer based virtual replication, write to target example. And then we have next the network based local replication. So in network based replication, the replication occurs at the network layer between the host and the storage array. So the replication based network based replication combines the benefits of both the storage array based and host based replications. So by offloading the replication from the servers and arrays, network based replication can work across a large number of server platforms and the storage array, making it ideal for highly heterogeneous environments. So, continuous data protection, that is CDP, it is a technology used for network-based local and remote replication. So, we will be studying about continuous data protection technique. Okay. So, CDP for remote replication, we'll be studying it in the next chapter. So, in this, we are going to study CDP about the local replication. Now, we shall study continuous data protection. So, in a data center environment, mission critical applications often require instant and unlimited data recovery points. So, in traditional data protection technologies, they offer a limited recovery points. Thus, if a data loss occurs, the system can be rolled back only to the last available recovery point. So in that case, mirroring offers a continuous replication. However, if logical corruption occurs to the production data, the error might propagate to the mirror, which makes the replica unusable. Only in case of a logical corruption, the data in the mirror copy makes it unusable. So in the normal operation, the CDP provides the ability to restore data to any previous PIT. So in normal backup, what happens? The data can be recovered that was taken only in the last, or you can say in the last PIT. So, but in case of normal CDP, it provides the ability to restore the data at any PIT point in time. Okay, so it enables this capability by tracking all the changes to the production devices and maintaining consistent point in time images. So in case of CDP, the data changes are continuously captured and stored in a separate location from the primary storage. Moreover, RPOs are random and do not need to be defined in advance. So with CDP, recovery from the data corruption poses no problems because it allows going back to a PIT image prior to the data corruption incident. So CDP uses a journal volume to store all the data changes on the primary storage. Then the journal volume contains all the data that has changed from the time the replication session has started. So the amount of space that is configured for the journal determines how far back the recovery points can go. So CDP is typically implemented using the CDP appliance and write splitters. So CDP implementation may also be host based, in which CDP software is installed in a separate host machine. So